Here's the rewritten script structured as continuous flowing paragraphs with short, punchy sentences built for an 8-second pacing rhythm. Imagine losing weight everywhere except the one place you actually care about and still being told you're doing it wrong. That's belly fat, and it's lying to you every single day. Most people believe crunches will melt it away, but that belief is quietly sabotaging their entire fat loss journey. Scientists have tested this idea for decades using controlled experiments most people never hear about. In one famous study, participants trained only one leg for weeks straight without touching the other. If spot reduction were real, that trained leg should have lost noticeably more fat than the untouched one. It didn't happen, and researchers found almost no meaningful difference between the two legs at all. The same disappointing pattern showed up again when scientists tested single-arm training instead of legs. Even studies focused entirely on abdominal exercises found the same frustrating, consistent result every time. Hundreds of crunches barely touched the stubborn layer of fat sitting directly over your abdominal muscles. A few newer studies hint at tiny localized effects, but only under extremely specific conditions. Heavy resistance training, high-intensity work, and a strict calorie deficit combined together maybe. But the evidence remains thin, inconsistent, and far from anything you should build a strategy around. The bigger, more important question isn't which exercise burns belly fat directly and immediately. It's understanding what actually decides where your body chooses to lose fat first. That answer lives far deeper inside your biology than any workout routine ever could. Your body doesn't view belly fat as some embarrassing cosmetic flaw you're desperate to fix. It sees that fat as stored energy, saved carefully for moments of genuine biological need. When you create a calorie deficit, your body decides where to pull energy from. That decision depends on genetics, hormones, age, sex, and your current body fat level. Notice what's missing from that list, because your workout routine plays almost no role here. This explains why two people following identical diets experience wildly different fat loss patterns. One person's face slims down within days, while their stomach stays completely unchanged. Another person notices their arms and legs shrinking long before their waistline moves at all. For many men, the lower abdomen stubbornly holds on until almost everything else has changed. For many women, fat around the hips and thighs refuses to budge for months. This feels deeply unfair, but it's actually a completely normal biological response happening beneath the surface. The real danger isn't slow fat loss, it's giving up before real change happens. People assume nothing is working simply because their stomach hasn't visibly changed yet. Meanwhile, their body is quietly burning fat from several other areas simultaneously, without any obvious announcement. Picture draining a swimming pool starting from the deepest section first. Water levels drop everywhere at once, yet some sections appear completely unchanged for a while. Once you truly understand this, chasing quick fixes suddenly becomes far less tempting. Your focus shifts towards something far more powerful than any single trendy exercise ever could be. Building a diet you can realistically follow for months, not just days. And that single shift changes absolutely everything about how sustainable your results actually become. Now here's the question almost everyone eventually asks themselves once they understand this truth. What's actually the best diet for losing stubborn, frustrating belly fat once and for all? Low carb, low fat, intermittent fasting, keto? Everyone swears their method is the only one. With so many conflicting opinions, it feels like one perfect diet must exist somewhere. But large, long-term scientific studies reveal something most influencers conveniently forget to mention. Low-carb diets often reduce appetite naturally, helping people eat fewer calories without even trying. Low-fat diets work brilliantly too, especially when built around whole, minimally processed foods. When researchers directly compare these approaches over many months, something fascinating consistently happens. Both groups often lose remarkably similar amounts of weight despite following completely opposite nutritional philosophies. Some participants achieve incredible transformations, while others struggle badly, regardless of which diet they followed. So what actually separates the people who succeed from everyone else who quietly gives up? It's rarely about carbohydrates or fat percentages, no matter what social media constantly tries claiming. The single biggest predictor of long-term success is boring, unglamorous, everyday consistency. The best diet isn't the strictest one, it's the one you'll actually enjoy following. A plan that's too restrictive might produce fast results for a few short weeks, but if you can't sustain it, that lost weight almost always finds its way back. Stop searching endlessly for the perfect diet that magically fits everyone on the planet. Instead, build something that genuinely fits your lifestyle, your preferences, and your daily routine. Because once consistency finally clicks into place, one nutritional strategy makes everything dramatically easier. It controls hunger, protects your hard-earned muscle, and quietly boosts your daily calorie burn. Finding a sustainable diet isn't the finish line, it's actually just the starting point. The next step isn't eating as little as humanly possible, it's eating smarter. Most people don't fail at fat loss because they lack willpower or motivation. They fail because they're constantly painfully hungry, and hunger eventually wins every single time. Successful fat loss plans aren't built around deprivation, they're carefully built around genuine satisfaction instead. Protein deserves the very first spot on your priority list, and here's exactly why. During a calorie deficit, protein helps preserve the lean muscle you've worked hard building. That matters immensely because muscle keeps your metabolism burning at a noticeably higher rate. Protein is also one of the most satisfying nutrients you can possibly eat daily. Chicken, fish, eggs, Greek yogurt, lean beef, and legumes keep you full far longer. Compare that fullness to processed snacks containing the exact same total calorie count. The second priority involves choosing foods with genuinely low calorie density throughout your meals. These foods let you eat larger volumes while consuming noticeably fewer total calories overall. Vegetables, fruits, potatoes, beans, and soups physically fill your stomach before you've overeaten anything. Think about eating an entire orange compared to simply drinking orange juice instead. Same fruit, completely different experience, because fiber slows digestion and genuinely extends your fullness. When you combine high protein with minimally processed high-volume meals, everything shifts dramatically. Staying in a calorie deficit suddenly feels effortless instead of feeling like constant, exhausting punishment. And once your nutrition finally works for you, your workouts need to work smarter too. By now, you've probably noticed one clear pattern repeating throughout every successful fat loss story. It's never about finding one single magical trick that instantly transforms everything overnight. It's about stacking simple, proven habits together until they compound into something powerful. One of the most underrated habits involves building and preserving muscle through progressive strength training. Surprisingly, many people avoid lifting weights entirely, terrified of somehow becoming unnecessarily bulky overnight. In reality, the complete opposite typically happens once strength training becomes a consistent habit. Every time you challenge your muscles, you're sending your body an incredibly important signal. That signal simply says, keep this muscle, it's genuinely needed and worth preserving. During a calorie deficit, your body constantly searches for available energy from anywhere it can. Without strength training, some of that precious energy comes directly from breaking down muscle. But when you keep lifting and gradually increasing the challenge, something remarkable happens instead. Your body preserves muscle while relying more heavily on stored fat for energy. This matters enormously because muscle tissue stays metabolically active even while you're completely resting. The more lean muscle you maintain, the more calories your body burns daily. Over time, this makes maintaining weight loss significantly easier without constantly slashing calories lower repeatedly. That's exactly why people combining strength training achieve leaner, more athletic looks than dieters alone. You don't need hours in the gym or dozens of complicated, confusing exercise variations. Focus entirely on compound movements like squats, rows, presses, and deadlifts instead. These exercises train multiple muscle groups simultaneously, maximizing your time and effort investment completely. Then gradually increase weight, repetitions, or overall training quality as your strength genuinely improves.
This principle, called progressive overload, remains one of the most reliable fat loss tools available. But what about cardio, the exercise everyone assumes burns belly fat fastest and best? Surprisingly, doing excessive amounts might actually slow your progress in ways nobody expects. For decades, cardio's been marketed as the ultimate fat-burning solution for stubborn belly fat. Walk into any gym and you'll see treadmills packed with people chasing that exact promise. Cardio genuinely burns calories and improves heart health. That part remains completely undeniably true. But here's something most people never realize about excessive cardio and fat loss progress. More cardio doesn't automatically mean faster fat loss, and sometimes it means the opposite. If your goal is building a lean, athletic body, too much cardio backfires completely. Your body has genuinely limited recovery resources available for handling intense physical stress consistently. Long, frequent cardio sessions add extra stress onto your muscles and nervous system simultaneously. This makes recovering from strength workouts significantly harder than most people initially expect. Over time, this reduces your ability to progressively lift heavier weights consistently over months. That progressive overload is exactly the stimulus preserving muscle during your calorie deficit period. Researchers even discovered something called the interference effect happening between excessive cardio and strength training. Too much endurance training can actually reduce strength and muscle-building adaptations significantly over time. That doesn't mean cardio is your enemy, far from it actually being true. Cardio remains an excellent tool when used strategically, purposefully, and with genuine intention behind it. If weight loss stalls after weeks of consistent dieting and strength training, add cardio strategically. 1 or 2 short sessions weekly can boost calorie expenditure without dramatically increasing overall fatigue. High-intensity interval training, known as HIIT, burns significant calories in remarkably short time. The key is treating cardio as a helpful supplement, never the actual foundation itself. Let nutrition create your calorie deficit. Let strength training preserve your hard-earned muscle completely. Use cardio only when it genuinely adds real, measurable value to your overall progress.
Once these pieces work together seamlessly, one final ingredient determines whether results actually last forever. You've probably wondered why some people lose belly fat and keep it off effortlessly, while others lose weight temporarily only to gain everything back within a few months. The difference isn't better genetics, faster metabolism, or some secret supplement nobody's discovered yet. It's that successful people stop thinking in temporary diets and start building permanent habits instead. They understand fat loss isn't a single event, it's an evolving, ongoing lifestyle, one that gradually becomes easier the longer you consistently practice and repeat it. One massive mistake people make is constantly jumping between different diets every few weeks. One month it's keto, the next it's intermittent fasting, then suddenly something else entirely. Every time progress slows slightly, they assume the entire plan has completely failed instantly. In reality, the problem usually isn't the diet itself failing them at all. It's that they never stay consistent long enough for results to genuinely compound over time. Sustainable fat loss demands repetition, patience, and genuine trust in the process itself. Even during frustrating weeks when the scale refuses to move even slightly downward. Instead of chasing perfection, focus entirely on mastering a few essential, unglamorous fundamentals consistently. Eat enough protein daily, fill your plate with whole, minimally processed foods regularly, lift weights consistently, use cardio strategically rather than excessively throughout your entire week, sleep well, manage your stress levels, and keep daily activity naturally high throughout everyday life. None of these habits sound particularly exciting or exotic when you first hear them, but together they create a system working with your biology instead of constantly against it. Think of your body like a savings account slowly growing larger over time. One healthy meal won't transform your physique, just like $1 won't make anyone rich. But thousands of smart decisions repeated consistently over months eventually produce genuinely unbelievable results. By this point, you've realized there isn't one exercise, diet, or supplement that works magically.
The people achieving lasting results aren't following secret shortcuts nobody else knows about. They're consistently applying proven principles that work powerfully together as one complete system. Think of fat loss like constructing a house from the ground up carefully. If one part of the foundation is missing, the entire structure eventually becomes completely unstable. But when every piece supports the others, progress becomes faster and dramatically easier to maintain. Start by creating a moderate calorie deficit that genuinely fits your everyday lifestyle. Choose an eating style you truly enjoy so consistency becomes effortless, not exhausting battle. Prioritize protein at every single meal to preserve muscle and effectively control hunger naturally. Fill the rest of your plate with whole, minimally processed foods that satisfy completely. Combine this with progressive strength training to maintain lean muscle and healthy metabolism function. Use cardio strategically, adding short, intense sessions only when additional calorie burn is needed. Most importantly, stop measuring success by what happens within the next 7 days alone. Belly fat is often the last place your body releases, which demands genuine patience. Every healthy meal, every workout, every walk is another vote for your future body. Individually, these choices seem insignificant, but together they create unstoppable, compounding momentum over time. The fastest way to lose belly fat isn't chasing faster methods or trendy new shortcuts. It's following methods you'll still genuinely be doing 6 full months from today. Belly fat isn't defeated with one workout, one diet, or one perfect eating day.
It's the result of thousands of small decisions moving you closer or further away. The encouraging part is this works both ways, favorably, in your complete control. Just as unhealthy habits gradually create excess belly fat, healthy habits gradually eliminate it completely. You don't need to be perfect, you simply need consistency greater than yesterday's effort. Stop trying to spot-reduce belly fat through endless, exhausting, ultimately pointless daily crunches. Instead, focus on creating a sustainable calorie deficit through food you genuinely enjoy eating. Prioritize high-protein, minimally processed foods that keep you full while protecting muscle mass. Build workouts around progressive strength training using compound exercises that preserve muscle effectively. Add cardio only when needed, complementing rather than replacing your essential resistance training routine. Finally, trust the entire process completely, because your body decides where fat disappears first. Stay consistent regardless, and even the most stubborn belly fat eventually, inevitably, disappears completely forever. There are no shortcuts that outperform patience, genuinely backed by real, credible scientific evidence. Every healthy meal, every workout, and every good night's sleep is another meaningful investment made. Months from now, you'll either wish you started today or feel grateful you did. One day, you'll look in the mirror and realize something far bigger than expected. The real transformation was never just a smaller waist or a lower number displayed. It was becoming someone who consistently keeps promises made only to themselves, quietly and powerfully. That's the actual victory worth celebrating, because healthy habits eventually become part of your identity, and once that happens, losing belly fat stops being the goal. It becomes who you are.